Bosses. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. How are we doing today? Well, today is going to be a full-blown tutorial on how to make wall decals. Now, what you just saw was me just giving you a list of things that we are going to be working with today, which is with navy blue permanent vinyl from the Paper Studio, silver metallic permanent vinyl, and my weeding tool. I also have on the side my 12 by 24 mat, our Cricut Explore Air 2, and our HP Pavilion laptop. So right now, all I did was just type out the name in the font style that I liked. I am picking out the offset. The name will be in the navy blue. The offset will be in the metallic silver. Sized it to the sizing that I wanted it to be for the client, in which they asked for, I believe it was like a 23-inch wide name for their wall. So that's the size that we did it in. Okay, now all I'm doing, we're going to go and make it. It's telling you that this name is big and it needs to be on a 12 by 24 mat. So it automatically put it on the 24 by 24 inch mat. Okay, now whenever you're using permanent vinyl, you always do shiny side up. Always do shiny side up or your image will be cut wrong. Okay, now since we have it out of the packaging, which is something I should have did before I even started the video, this is the back of permanent vinyl. It will have a white backing to it, so you know that's the back of the vinyl. And the colored side is the shiny part. So when you're using permanent vinyl, make sure you're putting it shiny side up. It's totally different than your HTV, which is your heat transfer that you have to put underneath the heat press. This, we're not using any heat press for. It's just basically a big sticker. That is why it is shiny side up. So now you're just going to line it up as perfectly as you can, as straight as you can on your 12 by 24 mat. Cut it to size that you need it to be. And we are going to prepare both mats before we go over to the heat press. Now, if you guys have been watching my videos lately, you know that I do need some mats. But until I get some mats, there's nothing wrong with putting a little masking tape or painter's tape on the corners of the mat so it does not move while it's being cut. Anyway, let's continue prepping the mats and then we're going to move over to the Cricut Air. All done prepping. Now we're going to turn around and go to the Cricut to cut. I'm sorry guys, don't mind my little area. It's been a busy week. I've had a lot of orders doing. As y'all can see, I got some UV resin sitting right there. Don't mind that. I'm going to do a cleaning video. If that is a video you would like to see, or if you would like to see my small little workspace in my 2-bedroom apartment here in Florida, just leave me a little comment down in the comment box and I'll sure to get that video out to you and let you see how I operate and how I turned my dining room into my little workspace. Okay, now when putting your mat inside of your Cricut machine, you saw me pointing to the two corners. You're going to make sure that your mat is underneath those two little pieces that are on your machine. You're going to wait for your machine's light to flash. It will flash when it's loading, which is the arrow, and it's going to flash again the C. That means you press the C and it starts to cut. So you cannot put your mat in the machine unless one, your arrow light is flashing, and two, you cannot start cutting unless your C on your machine is flashing. Now, on your computer, it will let you know how much of your project has been cut. Right now, ours is saying that it's about 26% cut. Depending on your design is going to depend on how long it's going to take to cut. If you have intricate design, it's going to take longer to cut. If you have real simple lines, it's not going to take that long to cut. Okay, now we're all done. We're going to remove. As you saw, the light was flashing. Light is flashing again. We're going to load underneath the two little levers. Underneath, make sure it's lined up to the back, and you press your C and it will start cutting. I'm not going to let you watch this whole part. We're just going to skip through this part. We've seen it being done already. Alrighty, now we are all done cutting out both of our pieces. Now what we're going to do is we are going to weed it. Weeding is the process of taking away all the pieces of your cut project that you do not need, which are called your negative pieces. So we're going to take out the inside parts of the letters that we do not need and all around the outside parts of the letters that we do not need. Be careful when you are doing this because you do not want to take away something that is a part of your design. So just be careful, go slow, and look carefully. Make sure you have well lit room so you can see the cuts. That's why you see me lifting up and tilting so I can see where the cut lines are. We're going to do both of these pieces, weed them out before we get into the process of putting the navy blue part of the name on top of the silver part of the name. Okay, right now I'm cutting away all the excess piece of the vinyl that we did not cut on so we can save it for another project. Make sure you always save your scrap pieces. Saves money. All right, guys, since we've gotten rid of all our extra pieces, you want to start weeding from the corner and pull slowly so you do not rip up any part of your design that you want to keep. So you're going to go from the corner and you're going to go at a diagonal as best as you can. I missed a little negative spot right there and I took it out. And there you have both of your pieces taken apart. The wonders of your Cricut. I just love it. The things you can do with your Cricut. I just love it. Okay, what you see me right here doing now, I'm going to line it. I just put one on top of the other, and we are going to open our transfer tape. I normally get mine from off of Amazon, but I was in a rush, and then I needed a big roll in a short period of time, so I just went to your local Hobby Lobby and got the Paper Studio brand transfer tape. It's fine. I don't mind it. It comes with lines, helps you line up your project the right way, and in my opinion, it might also help your client line up their project on the wall the right way if it had lines. All the other ones are normally clear with nothing on it. But anyway, what you're going to see now is I am going to take the transfer paper and I'm going to cut it down to size to fit over the whole name, including our offset piece that is going to be our backing. And so that we get a nice, clean, straight line, what you see me doing here is I am going to bend back. I'm not going to take the whole thing off of the backing of the paper first. I am going to bend back a corner of the white part of the transfer paper. I am going to position that piece down first, secure that piece on first, and then I am going to start taking off the rest of the backing paper so I can get the rest of it on. But before I do that, you always got to save your pieces. So I'm going to cut it on the part that I am not going to need so I can save that part of a transfer for another project. Always, always save your pieces. These materials are expensive if you have to keep buying them over and over again because you do not want to save. So now what you're going to do is I personally like to work from a different direction than most. I am right-handed, so I like to scrape from right to left. So I'm going to be pulling my paper from the left side while I am attaching the transfer paper on the right side. So you pull a little and then you use your scraper to scrape it down and seal it in. You pull a little and you're going to scrape it to adhere it. Just simply as that. There's no need to go all the way fast. You're not in a rush. If the transfer paper is not lined up the right way and you want to go pick it up, it will pick up your design with it. So just be careful and go slow, and everything will come out the way it's supposed to. And before I release that small part, I'm going to just braze it on down to the ends. Now, this backing part, I am not going to throw away. I am going to keep. No, I'm sorry, not this piece. This piece is going to get thrown away because I don't need that piece. But I'm not going to realize that until the end. But the backing part of the offset piece, that's the part that is not going to get thrown away because that's the part it's going to stay on. So now all I'm doing is just scraping it, making sure that the transfer paper can pick up the whole design. Flip it over on its back. I'm sorry, flip it over, turn it the right way, and we're gonna start to align. But before we're gonna align, I'm gonna give you a little trick. For a little trick for projects like this where you can't really see through the paper to see if it's lining up the right way, you can grab a piece of parchment paper. Now this parchment paper is a piece that I got from a pack of printable heat transfer, and I just saved a piece. I'm going to take off a small backing part of the backing paper. I am going to put that piece on the parchment paper, and then I'm going to use the transparent part of the parchment paper so I can see where the F in the name is going to line up against the silver backing offset part of the name, so I can make sure that it is lined up the right way on the whole name. Now before, so now it's on the parchment paper, and I'm going to move the parchment paper around until I see that it is lined up to the best of its ability to be lined. I'm going to remove the parchment paper without moving the full project, and then I'm going to attach that down. Use your scraper and scrape it down. Like I said before, I like to turn my projects upside down because I like to pull from right to left and scrape from right to left. So I'm going to be pulling it left and scraping left. Everything is going to be going left. And as you can see, the parchment paper worked very well because everything is lined up in the right position that it's supposed to be lined up in. All right, guys, that is pretty much the end of this tutorial. What you are going to see now is just me finish scraping it off, scraping it, making sure everything is adhered to the transfer sheet. All right, guys, that's the end. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.